Hello, friends. Bear with me. I'm getting everything all situated for our special World Card Making Day Facebook Live. Just gotta get everything situated. Hey, that looks pretty good. If you guys are dropping by, let me know. Just drop a quick comment to say hello. We're going to get to some crafting very soon, I promise. Let's do a little zoom in. It's not working the way I want it to. That's okay. I've just got a little bit of my mount base in the picture, but that's okay. Oop, there we go. All right. That's definitely better. All right. Hello, Tim. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a good Saturday. We've got some fun Facebook Live planned tonight, or tonight, it's today. I'm not used to a ThermOWeb daytime Facebook Live. So we're gonna have lots of fun. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna drop a comment. I've got today's blog post for our live today. And this is gonna have all the information for everything I'm gonna be using to create this card. Today's a very special Facebook Live. As I have said, it is World Card Making Day. So we knew we had to do something to celebrate. And we're so excited that our friends over at Photoplay Paper wanted to get involved with us as well. So I'm using some fantastic Photoplay products on our card for today, and they've also decided to jump on in with our giveaway today too, so I think that's even extra special. So I'm gonna start getting into a little bit of crafting. Yep, Jilly, you're all good. This is the correct where you gotta be for today's live, so you're all good. Yep. All right. So let's get into a little bit of crafting. So I hope everyone is having a fantastic Saturday. As I said, I'm Justin. I'm part of the ThermOWeb Paper Education team, and we wanted to have a little bit of fun for World Card Making Day. So we are bringing you a special Saturday Facebook Live along with a really special giveaway. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to drop that link a couple times because I do want to let you guys know that link is going to be the key to entering the giveaway for today. So let's go ahead and get into it. As I have already prepared, I've got a card made up and it's got a lot of witchy fun. I'm using a stamp set by Photoplay, by their stamp line called Say It With Stamps. That's called Hocus Pocus. And I've got all of these fun little elements in there, and I've kind of customized my own sentiment to say it's a good day to be spooky. So let's go ahead, let's get into this. So what I want to start with first is we're going to start by making this background. And this is using the Sprinkled Stripes transfer sheets. I apologize, toner transfer sheets by Laura Kelly. And I just gotta go ahead and grab that. Let me see. I've got my purple foil. Part of me wonders if I didn't grab that in advance. So I might have to break into my stash, but that's okay. Yeah, I can't find it. So we must not have grabbed it. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my Sprinkled Stripes from Laura Kelly. And what we're actually going to do first, I'm doing things a little out of order today than what I normally do. Usually I'll ink blend and then foil, but I'm going to be doing some foiling first. So let's go ahead and get this all situated. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to wipe this off. I am going to grab a piece of the Laura Kelly Berry Purple Foil, which is a really good deep purple. It's got a little bit of a blueness to it, like a blue violet. And that's why I wanted to use it. I thought it would be a really good sort of witchy Hocus Pocus color. Sorry, so let's go ahead, pull that out. And we're going to wipe this off. Spooky purple, there you go. And hello, Marianne from Maryland, and hello, Helen. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today. Now I'm going to explain when I get to the die cutting part of this why I am doing the foiling first. And it has to do with lining up those stripes. All right, so let's go ahead, grab my carrier sheet pocket, flip this over. Perfect, and then I want to look, so I should put it in so those lines are entering in my laminator parallel. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab my laminator. It's already been preheating for a little while now. We'll go ahead and we're going to transfer that foil over. I love using the toner sheets from ThermOWeb. I just think they're a really fun way to get your designs foiled. So that's why I wanted to use a little bit of that today. So hopefully we got one quick process through with this, because we have lots of fun to do for today to put this card together. I'm glitzing, I'm foiling, I'm flocking, all over the place, everything to make a card for World Card Making Day with you guys. Hello, Christian. Hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. So good to see you again, friend. The afternoon on a weekend is always a good time to see something shiny. Absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to remove our toner sheet. Hopefully, cross our fingers for a good peel reveal. All right. Looks pretty good to me. You see all that purple? All right. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take my foil sheet and put it off to the side. We're actually going to come back to that scrap piece later. And yes, happy World Card Making Day to you too. And Rita, I'm so glad you made it as well. So what we're going to go ahead and do is I want to line up this die cut so that my stripes are not kind of getting cut off. I just want to make sure I'm using the right part of this. So I'm using just a standard rectangle die from my stash. Jilly, I love using my purple foil too. Absolutely. One of my favorites. All right. Let's go ahead. And then I am going to apologize in advance if you guys do see my cutting sheets. Or my cutting plates. They're not the nicest quality. Quality is not the word I'm looking for. They're not in the nicest condition. But they get the job done. So we're getting everything all die cut off camera, of course. I don't really like to do my die cutting while doing a Facebook Live because I feel like it detracts from all the goodness going on. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this scrap as well. I don't need my rectangle die anymore. And then we're going to get going and do a little bit of ink blending. So for the ink blending, I've got two purple inks that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be doing some distress inking. And I'm just going to go in with this shaded lilac, and we're just going to cover the whole panel. And you can definitely ink blend after you foiled. It's not going to disturb the foil at all. You can actually do a lot to your toner card fronts after foiling to really kind of amp up your project. I'm doing a little bit of that today. All right. So we've got our shaded lilac, pretty good to go. And now we're gonna go in with some wilted violet. And this is just gonna do those edges, just to kind of darken those edges. And then I usually go back in with my lighter color just to kind of even out the blend. It's never perfect, and that's okay. It's all about layering those colors. All right. Oh yes, my cutting sheets are, or my, what do you call them? your plates, your die cutting plates. Mine are very well loved. One is actually cracked at the moment and I'm just waiting for it to kind of break off, but I'm getting as much use of it as I can before I have to replace it. You know, it's like when you have that glue bottle that no matter how long you squeeze it, as empty as it looks, you can still get a little bit of glue out of it. It's like I want to try to do as much as I can before that cutting plate is kerplunk. Well, thank you so much, Larissa. And Jilly, I'm glad that you learned a new technique already. We are early on too, so hopefully let's cross our fingers that there's going to be more to learn. There's always more to learn. I always have more to learn. But like I was saying, on top of ink blending on your panels, you can also do some other things. And one of my favorite things to do is to use metallic accent watercolors. Let's see, I want to try to get it so you guys can see this all on camera. Can you see the black? Because that's what I'm going to be using today. Yeah, you can see a little bit of it. Trying to make sure. Okay, you got it. So I'm going to put a little bit of water and then we're going to splatter over it. Oh, hello, Kelly. I know that you had said you were hitting the road. Thank you so much for popping on. I hope you have a safe travel wherever you're off to today. So I'm just kind of letting my watercolor just set a little since I put the water in with it. And then I'm just going to kind of mix it around with my brush. All right, and then I'm going to take an acrylic block. I'm just going to start splattering. And this kind of adds that sort of witchy, magical feeling to it. And I'm going to try to come back to this last because I want to give it some time to dry. That looks pretty cool though, doesn't it? All right, you know, hold on, I just realized I didn't turn my light on, so that light might be helpful. Perfect. All right, I'll clean that off later. And of course, a little bit of a smudge, that's okay. What is the color you're using? So I'm using a black metallic accent right now. This is by Art Philosophy by Prima. And it's just a 12 color palette. I've had this for years in my stash. Works really well for me. All right, let's clean that block off. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set this aside. We're gonna come back to this panel in a little bit. Perfect, just gotta remember where I put it. All right, let's do a quick clean and then we're gonna move on to how about we do some glitzing next. Glitzing's always fun. So I've gone ahead and I have die cut out this panel with a Deco edge rectangle die, and we're gonna do some ink blending and then we're also going to do some glitzing on top of it. So I've got 3 inks ready to go. All right, Tim, what's the watercolor you're using? So it's Art Philosophy by Prima. Let me show you guys. So Art Philosophy by Prima, metallic accents, metallic semi-watercolors, and it comes with a really nice palette of 12 colors. I apologize, my palette is a little bit of a mess, but you get like a white, you get 3 different types of golds depending on how deep you want it. You get like a burnt orange and like a terracotta red color, and then you've got your cooler colors and blacks on the bottom. You're clearly going to be able to tell that I'm using these 2 golds and this black the most, but it's a fun mix of things to have. And yes, it is on the blog post as well. I made sure to link that, you guys, so if you need it, if you want to add it to your collection, head on over. This product has been available for a while. Let me grab a block. I'm going in with some squeezed lemonade distress ink. We're going to do 3 different colors, and this is with some blending cardstock. We're just going to kind of move it around. And I'll make sure to share that blog link again, because that blog link today is going to be the key to our giveaway for World Card Making Day. We have a huge prize pack today, which is going to include most of the products from ThermOWeb that I'm going to be using for today's live, along with a selection of products from Photoplay as well that they've given to us to give away to one of our viewers and entrants. So that'll be really fun. I'll go over some details about what specific products are going to be included by ThermOWeb later in the live. But let's go ahead. Let's drop that blog post link once again, just so you guys, if you haven't checked it out. Oh, no, it's not going. Oh, darn it. Let's see. If I go in, let's see, copy that over. Let's see. There we go. All right. So make sure if you guys haven't yet, head on over to the ThermOWeb blog at that link that I just dropped, and you guys would be able to see what we're doing for our giveaway, where you guys can enter all the goodies that I'm using for today's project. If you guys love any of these photo play products I'm going to be using in a little bit, I've got links for you for those as well. All right. Perfect. And then I'm not even going to ink up my Mowed lawn because my ink for this is all, yeah, it's okay. My ink pad is very juicy for Mowed lawn, so I don't really ever need to re-ink my blender, but I am going to have to go in and blend this out again. That's okay. Not a problem at all. That's why I like to build my colors. Just get rid of all of those harsh marks. And that's why it's so important to have a smooth paper when you're doing your blending, because it really helps you be able to go in and blend out those lines. All right. Let's go ahead, let's do a little bit of water. Get some bleach marks, and then we're gonna go in, we're gonna take a little bit of that Mowed Lawn ink. Add a little bit of water, pick it up. Get some splatters going on. I agree, Dawn. Super fun, super spooky. All right, let's go ahead. We've got that panel prepped. It's got to dry before we do anything, so I'm going to kind of skip around because I need this to dry before we glitz it. So let's do a little bit of cleaning, and we'll do a little bit more with our project that I got ready as well. So another thing that I want to do with my project today is if you guys saw with the original, I wanted to use one of those Deco edge deckled. That's the word, not Deco, deckled. I'm gonna foil a piece of toner sheet that's die cut from that same shape and use it as a little bit of a matte piece. So I can go ahead and do that while we're waiting for this one to dry. And I do have that already die cut. And I want to use a piece of some black Deco foil. Let me see. Oh, you know what? And I am almost at the very end of this. What a sense of accomplishment to actually use up an entire roll. All right, let's go ahead and get this all die cut. Set that aside for later. Wipe this part off. All right. Put that face down. Put that in our craft carrier sheet sleeve. Perfect. All right, bring that laminator back over. All right. And Jilly, yes, you are right. Holding that block does help. Oh, we're going to have to foil this again because it didn't go in. That's okay. So you guys get to wait for me to do it again. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So we'll wait. Let me see. Do we have any questions? So you guys like the technique of using the block for when I'm doing my ink blending. I agree. It's a great technique to just kind of keep your fingers nice and clean, but also prevent those fingerprints as well. Because sometimes the smoother your paper, the more prone it is to those smudges. So that's great. Oh, Marianne, your compliment about my splatters. I feel like it's so random to get like a good splatter mark. All right, so we're going back in again so everything goes in. The block is less expending than Post-it notes. Yes, it is, and you can clean it off after. So if you're hearing a little bit of nesting behind me, I do have both of my critters in my craft space with me. I guess they've decided that they want to craft today. All right, so we're waiting for this deckled rectangle to get all nice and foiled. Marianne, do you like domed or flat foam applicators for your distress inks? I haven't really used the domed ones much. I use mostly flat. So I'm gonna say by default, I kind of go traditional with the flat. I think I've got some domed ones in my stash somewhere that I haven't broken into yet, but I do really like the flat ones. That's a great question, Marianne. All right, let's go ahead. Let's do a peel reveal. All right, we've got like a perfect transfer and it made it nice and foiled. You guys can see that. So we'll use that as a background piece. This can get tossed to the side. All right, and then let's see, is this all dry yet? We still have a little bit left to go. So as that's drying, you know what? I almost feel like we could just probably get, let's hit it with a heat gun. I don't like to jump around too much. And yes, Tim, that was a solid toner sheet that I did for that black Deco foil. All right, next what we're gonna do, let's do a little bit of glitz. And I'm gonna go ahead and take some pixie tape. Larissa, love that black Deco foil, one of my most used colors. It's so good, I love it. It's a must-have, and it's like a classic in my opinion. You know, I feel like when it comes to like traditional Deco foil colors, traditional to me is black, silver, and gold. And you gotta kind of have all three. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. This is the Shooting Stars stencil by Photoplay Paper with their Say It With Stamps line. It is a nice 6" by 9" stencil, and it gives you a really nice sort of constellation of stars, but then you can also use these shooting star images if you want it as well. So let's go ahead. I've got my grass green Glitz glitter gel. And I usually use a stencil pal when I'm doing this, but because we're not really glitzing too much, I think I can get away without it. So I'm just gonna do one nice solid layer. Let's put a little bit of that away. All right, and what's great is this grass green glitter gel is one of the items that we are including in our prize package today too. So that's fantastic. All right, we got a question. Okay, we've got Lisa asked if I use scissors to do a decal. No, I've got a set of Sizzix decal dies. I believe they're by Tim Holtz. So they were not with the scissors. They were just done with a die cut. We got a nice peel reveal for this little starry background. And I know Christian had a question. Christian asks, can you die cut from previously foiled areas? Was looking at your back panel and thinking I could die cut a word and get a twofer. Absolutely, Christian. So what Christian is asking, and Christian, if I'm wrong, I apologize, but this is going to get layered. And honestly, a lot of this is going to get covered up. You're only going to kind of see the edges of it. So you're going to have probably about 80% of this real estate is going to be available and it's going to be covered. So you totally could take a word die cut and take that out of the center, and then you can just hide it behind your image. It's a fantastic way to really stretch your stash. And to be honest, if I wasn't doing something for a Facebook Live with y'all, I probably would think about that before doing it. But me personally, I always try to keep myself on just like one project track, so I'm not like all over the place. But it's a great way to stash what you're already creating and get extra use out of it, since you're just going to cover it up. That's a fantastic question, Christian. All right, so I'm going ahead, I'm putting my glitzy items away because they've got to get cleaned. I have a tub of water out, and I'm going to go ahead and set this off to the side, and we'll get into a little bit of cleanup. I'm looking around and I'm like, where did I put my black foil tube? I guess I'll just have to come to it later because I cannot find it. You guys gotta behave. They're not gonna behave, spoiler. All right, so we're gonna wipe this down. And then I also have a little bit of gold glitter dusting and ink blending I want to do. So what I have this spooky word die. This is also from Photoplay. It is from their Halloween word trio stamps or die cut set. And it comes with these 3 die cuts. I clearly used the spooky one, but they've got Boo to You or Trick or Treat. The Boo to You is actually my favorite. I just wanted to use the spooky one today, but Boo to You is one of my all-time favorite Halloween sentiments. So I'm going in with a little bit of crackling campfire. We're just gonna kind of blend the bottom of this. I know I'm going a little fast, but that's just kind of how I blend my flock. Just like that. All right. So now I've got a nice little ombre with my spooky, and that is Orange Glow Flock. And then if you guys didn't clock me already, I did stack this sentiment with some black cardstock. And so what that means is I die cut the sentiment 3 times, once from flock, twice from black cardstock, and I just adhered them on top of each other to get some nice lift. So we've got that, and then let's go ahead and we'll do a little bit of glitter dusting. I gotta grab a piece of paper. I love the eyes too, Christian. And the deckled edge look is great. I know Tim Holtz has also got that deckled edge trimmer. So I'm going in, I've got our gold glitter dust, which is a great spray for glittering. And we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna, and there's Winnie, all right. All right, moves around a little bit, but that's okay. It's gonna give a really nice glittery look. Now bring it a little closer to the camera. It's gotta dry a little bit, but there's some nice little glittery bits in there. I would love a die with the word wicked. Oh, Christine, me too. One of my other favorite sentiments when it comes to witches is wicked always wins. I would love to see something like that. All right, so we're gonna clean that off. So we've got our die cut of the flock all ready to go. All right. Marianne, I only have white flock. Can the flock be colored with dye ink? Marianne comes in with another fantastic question. Yes, if you have, so this is my rule of thumb. If you guys are starting off your collection of flocks, start with the white latte. Get that first, because the truth is with the white latte, you can use your dye inks to do any sort of coloring. You could do a rainbow ombre if you want on there, and because it's got a white base, you're gonna get all those colors. So that white latte is a great start. All of our flocks can be dyed with other dye inks. I just have a lot. I think I have all of the colors, so I just kind of lend myself to whatever I'm using it for. But then you can kind of get a little bit more creative once you know which colors can ink blend on top of each other. All right. So we've got our spooky. I think the last bit we have to do in foil is the sentiment that says it's a good day to be, and then we can start getting into our assembly phase. So let's go ahead. I do have a sentiment banner all ready to go. And I also have, let me grab our adhesive transfer of the Happy Everything. And we're going to be using the one that says it's a good day to be. So let's cut this out. All right, perfect. And this Happy Everything adhesive transfer is also included in our World Card Making Day prize package that you can find over on the ThermOWeb blog. Let's go ahead. We're going to get this all lined up. It's going to go over here. Let's make sure that looks pretty good to me. So what we're doing, I lined up my adhesive transfer, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna place it into my carrier sheet sleeve. Oh, Laura, thank you so much. I'm glad that you guys are getting some good tips today. We're gonna go back through our laminator. Gonna use this time to catch up on some more questions. You know, I'm gonna go ahead, let me see, can I drop that? No, I can't drop that link once again. It only lets me do it once at a time. But if you guys haven't yet, I'm gonna drop the blog link for tonight's live once more, and that's gonna be where you're gonna be able to head on over and enter our giveaway. It's got all of the prizes that we're giving away listed on the blog, and you guys can just enter with your email address. It is like a $100 prize pack, so it is a fantastic opportunity to enter and win some great ThermOWeb prizes. We've got the toner sheets I used of the striped toner sheets, the berry purple foil by Laura Kelly. You're gonna get some orange glow flock, some grass green glitz gel, that gold dust glitter spray, the adhesive transfers, all the goodies. So make sure to head on over if you haven't yet. Do you have to peel the top off first? You don't, Tim. What you actually do is, it's a twofer, is first what you do is you peel the back layer off, you put the top layer on your paper, and then you take that off. And then what you're gonna do is cover that with foil. And so I do have that leftover berry purple. So let's go ahead, I'm just gonna cut a piece off. And this is just from my scrap from the card or the background I made earlier. And we're gonna go ahead, let me see, get this all lined up. Just like that, that'll be perfect. Same berry purple color. I agree, excellent way to use the scrap. And yes, Tim, I am using the heat setting transfer first. So it's it'll heat set the adhesive transfer, and then I'm going to heat set the foil. So let's go ahead. We're gonna bring that in. I'm all for any way that we can use our scraps, you know? Oh, you guys are so sweet. I just thought it was a good way to use it, you know, rather than breaking out a new piece of foil. It's like my precious. So it's like, let's just go in and we'll just use a piece that I've already used up, because why not? All right, so this is going through. I'll show you guys how that all comes up. And then we're gonna be able to get into the assembly part of this card, which I think is fantastic. I'm always game for cards that are kind of easier to put together. And yes, so what you're gonna do, so let me explain with the heat transfer or with the adhesive transfers. What you're gonna do is you first, so it's like a sticker, it's two-part. You cut out the shape you want, and then you peel the backing off. The part that's got the words on it, like the actual ink, that's what you're gonna put onto the paper. You're going to do a heat or a pressure transfer method, and then you're going to remove it from whatever, the die cutting machine or your laminator. Once it's done, you're going to go ahead then and you're going to peel off that acetate that's got the printed word on there. You're going to see like the sticker watermark of the word underneath. You cover that with foil. I've actually seen some people do it with flock as well. And then you're going to repeat your pressure or heat method with the foil or flock on top. And then that's how you're going to get your transfer. So let's go ahead, and we've got It's a Good Day to Be. So see, we've got our nice transfer, and that's going to help build our sentiment. And then if you wanted to, you could also save this bit and use it with a full toner sheet, and use the negative, which would be a really fun way to use it. All right, so we're going to go in. I'm going to use this crackling campfire just to kind of distress the edges, just to get a little bit of a pop of that orange. Just like that. Trying to be gentle. I agree, Dawn. You can use these with so many different stamp sets or your word dies. I just made a card the other day and I used the Oh Hello set. And I had a fall die cut and I made a Hello Fall card that I just adored. So there's lots of fun ways. Hello and happy, I feel like, are probably two of the most commonly used sentiments when it comes to greeting cards. So, or scrapbook layouts or whatever you might be crafting. All right. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you so very much about my voice. You don't have to live with it. So you just get it when I do a live. But see, like with me with it, I'm like, oh, you never think about people liking your voice. All right, so I've got a card base, and I want to go back to the background that we made. It looks pretty dry, so I think we're good to go. So let's go ahead. Where is my tape runner? I want to use my tape runner. This is my tape runner XL. And I just want to make sure that we're getting my background all nice and adhered. I'm going to use my tape runner a little bit for this project. I like to use my tape runner specifically when I'm using toner sheets, just because I do think that some toner sheets have a slightly lesser weight than like a heavier cardstock. And if I'm using a dry adhesive, I minimize any sort of likelihood that you're going to be able to see any wrinkling in the paper. Let's see. Gonna have to trim that edge off, and that's okay. See, I cut this in advance, and I thought that I wouldn't have an issue, but just trim. Perfect. Nice flat edge. And those splatters really make it nice and fun. All right, so what we're gonna go ahead and do is I've got that all black foil deckled edge rectangle. And I don't know if the Glitz piece that I use has dried entirely, but to play it safe, I did make one in advance. I've just gotta find it. It's going MIA on me. I don't know how I could be missing that. So just give me 1 second while I try to locate that. How odd. See, you make things in advance because you're worried that it ain't gonna work. I don't know where it went. Let's see, do we think this is dry? You know what? I think I'm gonna get lucky. I think I'm gonna get lucky, and I think that the one that we worked on should be dry already. And that just means I'll have another piece somewhere else to use later. So let's go ahead and let's get into some layering. So I'm just gonna kind of offset it like this. trim this edge real quickly. Perfect. And we're gonna offset like that. Awesome. And then we're gonna go in, we're gonna add some tape runner to the back. And we're gonna get this in place. I think just like that should do it. Perfect. All right, so we're getting there with our layout. Well, you guys love the black and green. You guys are so sweet, thank you. All right, so let's go ahead. Grab some of my images, and I've got this cauldron. I've got the witch's shoes, and I've got her hat. And I wanna make sure that I'm layering these appropriately. So let's go ahead and, I've got my liquid glue. So we'll go ahead and start layering. I kind of like to offset the cauldron a little bit. Kind of look like it's tipping over. All right, just like that. And then I'm gonna kind of have the hat kind of behind the shoe, layered really nicely. Oh, thank you guys so much. But my compliments about the coloring. So let's go in just like that. Perfect. You know what, I think I kind of want this one to be a little bit more flat. Like that, that'll work. Okay, now we're gonna go in with a little bit of foam tape. Just add a couple pieces of foam tape. We don't gotta go too crazy. Sometimes I go crazy with foam tape, sometimes I reel it in. I think today I'm gonna reel it in a little bit. We don't gotta do too much with it. Make sure her legs are stable. Right there. We'll do one more piece over there. That's pretty good. Maybe one more. You guys are probably like, if this is what he calls reining it in with foil, I'd hate to see what going all out is like. That's fair. All right, so let's remove the backings. Oh, thank you so much, Julie. I love this color palette for Halloween. I feel it's very traditional, you know, blacks and purples and greens and oranges. But you could have a lot of fun with any sort of color palette. I actually was thinking earlier, I think one of the easiest ways to put like your own twist on a witchy card is to turn it from a Halloween card into a Valentine's Day one, because I think of love potions and love spells. So you could totally do all of these, the same layout, but you could use pinks and reds instead, maybe with some whites, and I think that would be really cool. All right, so let's go ahead. We've got our image in place, and we're gonna have where it says it's a good day to be spooky. So I just gotta cut off. All right, so I've got my sentiment banner, putting a little bit of foam tape on that to give it some lift. And this is our iCraft 3D foam tape in 1/16 of an inch in white. We do have it in two different sizes. We have it in 1/16 and 1/8 of an inch. We also have two colors where we have white and we have black. And the truth is they are all wonderful. All right, so let's make sure this is all nice and even. I think that with witches, I think that they lend themselves really good to anything magical, but I think that like Valentine's Day is very unexpected for witchy things. So, oh, Jilly made swatches. That's so exciting. You guys love the foam tape. I'm glad you guys do. So we're gonna do a little bit of foam tape on the back of the word die, trying to not do too much. There's my coffee maker going off. I did make sure to get my coffee in this morning. If y'all are coffee drinkers, I hope you got yours in too. All right. Let's see. Getting this all together. Go Witcher, go home. Oh, Dawn, I love that. We need to decorate our house too for Halloween. We put up a brand new Halloween shower curtain last night. So that's the extent of our decorating. I did just, oh, speaking of just like not even crafting, but just Halloween decor, Home Goods, of course, is like the best, and they have some Halloween Ray Dunn mugs, and we grabbed a couple of them that we're going to display on our, on our counter. I think one says like Pumpkin King. One I think maybe says Booty You. I forget what they all said. We got them a handful of weeks ago, but I've been itching to use them. So let's put this spooky die. Perfect. So we got It's a Good Day to Be Spooky, but it looks a little empty on top. So what I've gone ahead and done in the original, there's also some solid image stars and bats that come with the set. So I'm using that just to add a little bit of embellishment. Marianne only has a table runner out. Marianne, you and I are like in the same boat. I've got a shower curtain. You've got a table runner. I don't know which one's getting more visibility, you know. Probably a table runner. So let's go ahead, use the foam tape. Oh, thank you so much, Christian. And Carletta decorates for her grandchildren, of course, so sweet. All right, so we've got our little bat there. We'll do another bat in the other corner. And I've got 3 stars and we're about done. So do a bat up there. All right, so we'll do star number 1. Ah, we got a jumper. It's okay. So we'll do, one of the stars can go up here. Oh, you guys are so sweet. I think it is super cute. It's just great for Halloween. It's great to get like a little bit of inspiration too, because I love just doing spooky card make. If I could spooky card make all month, I would. All right, so let's go ahead. Oh, and this one doesn't want to stay on. There we go. Let's go ahead. This star is going to go right here. And we've got one more star left. And that one's actually going to go on the bottom over here. So there we have it. So we've got our World Card Making Day card all situated. I think that the bats are a nice touch too. I think it adds a little extra detail up towards the top of this card because a lot is kind of centered in like the central area. So it adds a little bit of detail up top, but also when you're making a card with all these foils and flocks, you don't want to kind of, I usually don't like overwhelming with detail, but that's just me. So let's go ahead. We'll compare it to the first one that I made. There's always some slight differences, but that's totally okay. So we've got both cards all ready to go. This, of course, is the one we made today. This is the one that I made before. So as you guys can see, we use these sprinkled stripes for that background where we did some ink blending and some watercolor splattering. We've got some black Deco foil for little like elements beyond the Deco rectangles. We've got some Glitz gel going on. We used our Happy Everything adhesive transfer for our sentiments, some orange glow flock for our spooky die cut, along with some gold glitter dust spray. So they're pretty close. There's some subtle differences I can see. This hat's a little bit more on an angle than this one. These aren't like perfect. There's no such thing as perfect placement. I think it looks pretty good. So, okay, so you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to drop the blog link one more time for the last time for our live today for World Card Making Day. Now, I wanted to remind you guys, of course, I know I brought it up a couple times. We have a very special giveaway going on the ThermOWeb blog. All you have to do, click the link to go on over to the blog post, scroll to the bottom. There is an entry that you guys can put in your email address and enter yourself to win our World Card Making Day prize pack. You are going to get these sprinkled stripe toner sheets along with that berry purple foil. You're going to get some of that orange glow flock along with some grass green glitz gel. You're also going to get that Happy Everything adhesive transfer as well that I used. And on top of that, Photoplay Paper did donate a couple items for us to use for our giveaway today. So we're going to throw some cool Photoplay items in there for you guys as well. So make sure, head on over by clicking onto that blog link, enter that. I believe we've also got an additional giveaway going on Instagram. I believe that one is for a ThermOWeb store credit for World Card Making Day. So be sure to head on over to Instagram as well. If you guys are interested in shopping, in that blog post, I've got all of the products I used in today's live, all linked up, all ready to go. Go ahead, use those links to shop. I greatly appreciate that. And it's got everything all linked out, including non-ThermOWeb products that we used in today's live from our friends at Photoplay. So thank you guys all so much for being here today. You guys are all so sweet. Let me go with some comments. Christian says, I like the inking on the die, gives it some pow. I agree. It always adds a little bit of extra dimension. I'm always a sucker for a good ombre. Judy loves that spooky die cut. I agree too. It's just like the perfect little feel for this card. Tim says it's perfect. You're so sweet. Thanks so much, Tim. I appreciate your kind words. Thank you, Christine, and thank you, Judy. Teresa, thank you for being here, and thank you, Mary Ann. Thank you guys so much for some great questions today too. We had some really good questions about how to use different ThermOWeb products. Christian asked a great question about stretching your stash when it comes to die cutting those toner sheet areas. Yeah, that's like one of like the secrets to crafting is just like to get as much as you can out of your materials. So ThermOWeb definitely lets you guys do that. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to stick around for about a minute or so longer, answer any other questions that may pop up. But please, please, please don't forget, head on over to the blog, enter that giveaway. And you know what? Make something today. Go make a card. It's World Card Making Day. Sit down. Even if it's something simple, all you got to do is just stamp out hello. Just stamp out hello and write a card to someone and drop it in the mail. Thank you guys all so much for being here. Christian, you have a spooktacular World Card Making Day as well. Rita, thank you so much for the compliment. And thank you, Larissa. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Gabrielle. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the process. You guys are getting extra dosages of me lately. I am actually going to be doing another Facebook Live coming up on Wednesday. We've got another great ThermOWeb themed week coming up, and I'll be super excited. I actually finished prepping my card for that last night, and we're going to be having a lot more fun. I promise, coming your way next week. So set your alarm. Next week, Wednesday, which is October 5th, I will be here at 7 p.m. in the evening Central Time, and we've got another fun card making tutorial going on. Thank you guys so much for being here. Have a wonderful World Card Making Day. I can't wait to see you guys soon. Bye.